is in a bit of trouble. I think
It
Islam's in
is.
a bit of trouble.
It is a downfall, and I guess there was always talk about the whole revivalism of Islam that took place over the last half century or so, because a lot of the Muslim countries that are nowadays known to be very religious, they were actually very secular at the beginning of the 20th century and throughout. They were following very secular and nationalist ideas that were contrary to this, to Islamic unity and Islamic laws and all of that. And there was a revivalist movement where these Salafi groups and others started saying, "We, the Muslim world, we have become terrible. We have become, we have become pathetic. We have lost our faith. It is time to go back to the roots of our religion," and so on. And this is how they slowly took over and turned these countries into more religious things. But it looks like, and the same thing happened in Saudi Arabia, as said, after in the 70s when the Grand Mosque seizure happened. But if it goes like this, if the trajectory continues as it is, and Saudi Arabia, along with other countries, after such a short revivalism period, again turns toward secularism and lets go of Islam, then this could mean that whole Islamic revivalist period was just a hiccup or a last ditch effort by the Islamists or by Islam to stay relevant or stay in charge, and it didn't work.
Hmm.
Obviously, these countries realize that Islam doesn't work. It doesn't get them anywhere, and they're going a different way now.
Yeah, I've broken down multiple times sort of what led up to the Iranian Revolution and the Muslim Brotherhood and all that. And I've pointed out that, just to recap for anyone who's not familiar with it, pretty quick. After the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, so Islam always had an empire from the time they got one for many, many centuries. They always had an empire. They lost their empire when the Ottoman Empire fell. And all of a sudden, they no longer have a caliphate anymore. This is like, I mean, to a Muslim, to your average Muslim back then, people can't even absorb how big this was for them, right? We've always had our caliphate, and now we've lost our caliphate. We don't have a caliph. What is going on here? This wasn't supposed to happen. It has collapsed. We've lost. We have been defeated. We lost our empire. And so the reaction was for these countries to say, all right, well, we lost, and the Western world is much more powerful, so we need to start copying Western nations. And so look at pictures from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran from 60, 70 years ago. They looked like Western nations. They all tried to modernize. But there's another possible reaction. There's another possible interpretation of the evidence. And the other possible interpretation of the situation is that you weren't being strict enough. You weren't being devout enough. You weren't applying Sharia faithfully. And that's why Allah is punishing you using these Western nations, or he's testing you or something along those lines. And you have the opportunity to really double down on Sharia, and then Allah will bless you. And so that's when you get, the Iranian Revolution, where the fanatical religious leaders take over. That's when you get the Muslim Brotherhood. Eventually you get groups like ISIS, but they all had the same mentality. The reason we are not dominating the world is because we are not being strict enough. We're not eliminating heresy and hypocrisy. If we just do those things and go full force on Sharia, then Allah is going to bless us. And well, notice, how's that working out for everyone? It's not working out. So the question is, if that failed, what then happens? And according to what AP was just saying, we might be seeing the collapse. We might be seeing them realizing, actually just going hardcore like Salafi, Muslim Brotherhood style Islam, it's not working. We need to go back to modernizing.